I'm just going to kick back for this one and enjoy a coffee, and you can rip around.
I'll chauffeur you, sir.
To the dirt road. Also, not the only ones in Baja mode. Full noise.
Over the logs? This thing is off its head.
Righto, let's go. Welcome back, guys, to another episode. A little bit of behind the scenes this time. A couple of weeks ago, you would have seen Nav and Wade head down to Melbourne, and they got to test drive the new Ford Ranger, the next gen Ranger. Now look, if you want to check that video out, guys, for anyone that's interested in the Ranger, I'll link it in the description below. We're stepping it up a notch here. I've come down with the Ford team and I'm test driving the new next gen Ranger Raptor. Now let me tell you, not only does this thing look badass, they've focused on performance and off-road capabilities, and I have never ever driven a car with this much technological advancement. This thing is absolutely crazy. We've just done the first out of the 3 challenges. I'll take you back to the beginning, but here we go. The new Ford Ranger Raptor. I'll let you know what I think of this thing at the very end, but so far, ooh-wee. All right, let's go. We're on. We're in the car. Somehow I got the driver's seat here with Ty. How you going, bud?
Good.
So you got to do the Everest yesterday?
Yeah, troughing on this one.
I'm pretty excited for this one. We just had a little technical rundown inside, sat down. This is very fancy. I'm coming out of the 79, so anything's fancy, but this thing is obviously jam-packed full of off-road features with different drive modes. I'll run you through most of it as we're cruising around, but...
What's that exhaust button?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, that one.
Good in car too,
Oh,
mate.
right, we're on. So the first thing we're going to play with, as all blokes do, is there's a exhaust button. We'll go straight to the Baja mode. There's 4 different exhaust modes on this thing. I'll give you a closer look later, but let's see if it actually sounds any good. Cool thing about the Raptor is it's specifically designed for performance and off-road use. So you've got normal mode, sports mode, slippery mode, mud and ruts, sand, then you got the Baja setting, as well as rock crawl. Specifically designed to change your suspension, your transmission.
Front and rear lockers.
Front and rear is factory, which is crazy.
Boost for each turbo.
A little bit more technology than what I'm used to.
In the old 79.
Yeah, than the farm truck. We're into low range, mud and something. Mud and ruts. So we just went through our first little mud puddle. I felt bad, I don't even want to get this thing dirty, just quietly. We'll get it muddy. It's not ours, let's rip in. First little mud puddle, 300 mil wading depth, bit of fun. You can feel this thing just constantly working as you're cruising through in low range. You can feel all the individual wheels sort of mucking around. Takes your power away a little bit, but just cruises through, no drama at all. I'm still going 14 kilometers an hour now and it's still working. We got the forward facing camera. So if you're sitting up nice and high, or if you're coming over a crest, you can see exactly what's in front of you, clear as day. Some of the other cameras do the full 360, so you can see every corner of your vehicle. Been in plenty of situations where you'd love to see exactly what's going on around the car, and that sort of enables you to do it. So not only does it give you that front camera, but I just noticed too then, where you steer your wheels, it actually gives you that on the front screen. So you see there, you got your wheels nice and straight, hooking it down to the left, hooking it down to the right. So it will tell you exactly where your wheel placement is when you're going up or down these steep inclines. This thing pretty much takes a lot of the full driving skill away. I reckon even Nav could take this thing wheeling and probably get it done. We're not going to let him drive one, but hopefully we can get some wheels in the air and play around with these different modes. "26 degrees, 30 degrees. Just take it down, gunshot." People are not following me. So we're just playing around at the moment on this little off-road course, playing with that trail mode where we're able to set the speeds and just let the car do its thing. Pretty impressive to watch. Let's see if it can hold 2 kilometers an hour going downhill. 2's as low as you can go. Feet off the pedals. It just holds that 2 k's an hour, which is
so sick.
Yeah, that's pretty sick. So if you come up to a real big downhill section, you can literally just pick your speed and just let the car crawl down, and it holds it too. I was interested to see if it'd actually be able to hold it, or if the auto box would start running away a little bit, but unreal. You can see that it just controls your speed as you're coming down.
Yeah, good.
Killing it. Same with going up the hills, guys. You can set your speed, and we'll show you how easy to just bang the lockers on too. Front locker, rear locker from factory. Shows that you've got both lockers locked in there. Set his speed at 6 kilometers an hour, and away it goes. Just straight up. Loves it. Flash. Very flash. Just sort of giving you that ultimate control over your vehicle. Obviously the aim whenever you're going down an incline is always to have that slow speed, full control of the vehicle. Keep that traction, don't want to be breaking any traction, and this definitely makes it easy. I reckon it makes it easy enough for Nav. We might have to get Nav a Raptor. I reckon it could be on the cards, guys. Let us know in the comments, should we add the Ford Ranger Raptor to the range? It is definitely the most technically advanced 4B I've ever driven, and just quietly, I'm pretty keen. So while we're out here, I'm going to run through a couple of the specifics. I know you guys love the little nitty and gritty. So during our meeting this morning, we got the ins and outs of the vehicle. So I took a couple of screenshots, guys. So let's just run through a couple of things we'll do. I'm reading some of this off here because otherwise I'm going to get it wrong. But a bit of off-road capabilities. So factory front and rear diff locks, which is pretty crazy, guys. Underbody protection comes as standard. The wheelbase on this thing is 3,270 millimeters, so 3.27. The ground clearance, 272 mil. You've got a 32-degree approach angle at the front, 24 degrees breakover in the center of the vehicle there, and then you've got a 24 to 27 degree departure angle. So I definitely built this thing with four-wheel driving in mind. The motor, guys, it is their new twin turbo 3-litre V6. It's a 10-speed automatic, 292 kilowatt, which is about 390 horsepower. And then you're running at 583 Newton meters, and it's also got an anti-lag technology. So this is the most powerful production Ranger that they've ever released. And I can tell you from the limited drive that I've already done, it has got plenty of up and go. We'll see more of that shortly when we get out onto the Baja track. One last little fact here is the suspension. So obviously, guys, the suspension is what sets this thing apart from your typical Ford Ranger. It's running a Fox 2.5 live valve shock setup. It's got sensors and it monitors while you're driving the vehicle, and it inputs 500 times a second and gives you that adjustment live while you're driving, which is absolutely crazy. You got 6 different dampening zones and you've got that increased wheel travel. So the Fox independent suspension is absolutely insane on this thing. When we get it on the on-road, I'm sure I'm going to be able to talk a little bit more about this, and when we get it off-road on the Baja, this thing handles like an absolute machine on-road, and then you take it off-road and you can absolutely let rip, and the suspension adjusts accordingly. Is absolutely crazy. Now, one thing that unfortunately you don't get in this compared to the Ranger is your towing capacity. It drops down to the 2.5 ton tow. That is because of the suspension setup. That's one of the questions I got asked on Instagram. I asked you guys to flick through a few questions. So look, if you're planning on building a massive tourer and you want that carrying capacity, or you want to tow your bigger boats, trailers and bits and pieces around, this probably isn't for you. If you want to rip up and down the beach all day, you want to have a bucket load of fun, you want to get off-road, then this might be for you. But for those big, heavy touring aspects, not quite the vehicle. This is specifically designed for performance and off-road capabilities, all within the one shock, which is absolutely crazy. All right, while we've got it down in the paddock here and Ty's in the driver's seat, I might get him to show you guys the 4 different modes as we're banging through that exhaust. I know you want to hit that Baja mode, so let's build it up from 1 through to 4, and let's listen to that exhaust note open up, eh? Here we go, exhaust test. So we got the first one. This is your quiet mode. Then we're gonna step it up. This is your everyday mode. We'll go up to the next one. Sports mode, I believe. Whoa! Now we're opening up. And then let's go to the big girl, the last one. Yes. So we'll really hear this thing purr when we get it out onto the open track and let it rip, have that second turbo kick in. Man, hats off to Ford. Everyone loves an exhaust note. The fact you can have that nice peace and quiet for that long touring drives, and then you can open it up when you want to have a bit of fun off-road is absolutely epic. Well done. I'll jump inside real quick and give you a look around. First thing you notice when you hop in, before I even get in, is the seats. These things are, without a doubt, the best looking factory seat I reckon I've ever seen. They were actually designed off of the F-22 Raptor, which is your Air Force fighter plane. So that's where the design has come from. These things are comfy as hell. Now, the rest of the interior, look, you've got the big Tesla style screen in the middle here. You got a beautiful steering wheel, something that looks completely aftermarket. The way that they've just integrated your Raptor badging all the way through is super impressive. Just the ergonomics is exactly where you want it. Beautiful lining at the top of the door here. Nice little accents of the vehicle color throughout the whole build, in the stitching, in the sides of the seats, all nice and bold. Center consoles are absolutely beautiful. Obviously everything is nice and simple and easy to use. It's one thing I do like about Ford is the practicality is still there. You don't need to be a genius when you hop into this car. Everything's self-explanatory. You know, you can click on the car, you get to pick your different modes, towing. You can preset 10 different towing modes, which is absolutely crazy. Comes factory with your brake controller, guys. The other thing that they've already implemented into this vehicle is for your aftermarket products. So you got 6 auxiliary switches up here, which means you're able to straight away under the bonnet plug in spotties, UHF, disco lights, whatever you want, all factory through these auxiliary points, which means you're going to save a lot of time and money when it comes to doing your wiring and all your aftermarket bits and pieces. B&O is the brand, the sound system. So apparently the sound system in this absolutely cranks. The other thing we got, guys, paddle shift all in behind here for when you're in Baja mode off-road. Just the way everything sits and the way you control everything. It's nice and easy. Exhaust mode, you flick through your exhaust mode. Suspension, you can play with your dampener, whether you want off-road, normal, or sports mode. You've even got different steering controls, guys. So you can set up normal, comfort, or sports mode for off-road. I would love to get this thing and take it some serious four-wheel driving. I want to see how this thing handles with wheels in the air. I'm dying to actually get this thing off-road. For me personally, when it comes to off-roading, I take everything plus the kitchen sink. So for me, that is one small letdown of the Ranger Raptor. But that's not what it's designed for. That's definitely what your Ford Ranger is designed for. I think we're getting morning tea, so I think we better run back up the hill, morning tea, and then we'll be out on the road track to see how this thing handles on the road. And I can tell you now, it's definitely not going to handle like a four-wheel drive. This thing is going to handle like a sports car, I reckon. So let's see how we go. Be kidding, you guys get the chance to do this. Go, guys, you and 3 mates get the chance to head out for the ultimate Can-Am day. Then you get to spend the night glamping, food, drinks, everything supplied by the epic team at the Outdoor Experience Factory. If you want to win, it's very simple. Grab anything from the online store. Every single item is an entry, guys. So if you want to surprise 3 of your mates with an adventure of a lifetime, jump over to the online store now. Get around it. Righto, we're on. Morning tea done and dusted. Big dog's in the driver's seat. I'm just going to kick back for this one and enjoy a coffee, and you can rip around.
I'll chauffeur you, sir.
Chauffeur me around to the dirt road. I didn't realise, but they've actually just given us a loop, and we just get to go and drive the cars by ourselves. So we're off to the pub, and
I'm going home with this thing.
Just going home. Thanks for the car. Also, not the only ones in Baja mode. Right, initial reactions.
This thing is off. This thing is off its head.
For a factory car out of the box and a four-wheel drive at that, it's yeah, it's pretty impressive. A little bit of note, enough to, geez, what is that? A porcupine? Maybe a echidna. Echidna. We nearly ran over an echidna. We're having a play. We've just adjusted to sports steering, sports dampener. Notice the difference straight away.
Straight away.
Responsive.
Yep.
It started raining, so it's a little bit greasy.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to take it.
It's a bit slick.
Slightly easy. Half time. Change sides. Righto, we're on. Responsive is a understatement. I can tell you, I've never driven a four-wheel drive that feels like you're in a sports car. We've got the sports suspension, so round corners this thing is just sticking like a glove. And then we got the Baja exhaust on, so you get that little bit of extra adrenaline rush. All in all, after driving this thing on the road, it is that much fun. You know, even if you're coming out of a Commodore, likes to go fast, but you want to step into something that still gives you that ear-to-ear enjoyment, and then you're also able to go on the beach on the weekends, take the family away camping. This thing on the beach would just be insane. But to drive around town, this thing is so much fun. The responsiveness, the steering, it's like having a sports car and an off-road car all in one. Even if you cruise around in your typical Hilux, Navara, Ranger, whatever it might be, if you've got the budget and you want something just that little bit extra, this is definitely it. Let's go. Righto, fun time. We're going for the Baja track. High speed off-road.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's see what a V8 supercar driver and a Ford Raptor Ranger can do, eh? It's like a bloody Can-Am except a bloody dual cab.
Good job.
Nice.
How you feeling?
That was unreal. Righto guys, well I tell you what, that was one hell of a ride. This thing out of the box, no mucking around, is absolutely insane. We're not sponsored by Ford, we don't get paid by Ford. We come out here to just do an honest review on this thing, and let me tell you, it is absolutely insane what you get factory out of the box. I literally liken that lap to jumping in something like a Can-Am. The control, the acceleration, the power. There's not too many dual cabs on the market. You can hop in and you can go and rip around an off-road track like that with zero aftermarket products. And I mean zero. It's super impressive. Ford, next gen, Ranger Raptor, 10 out of 10. Team. The only thing I wish it had, to be brutally honest, that 3-ton towing. But look, at the end of the day, you can't have everything. And this is built specifically for exactly what we're doing with it. It's not built to be that massive towing machine. That's what your standard Ford Rangers and your wild tracks and bits and pieces are for, I guess. Look guys, I hope you've enjoyed this content. If you've got any questions, bang them down below. I'll do my best to answer them. I've had an absolute ball. Massive shout out to Ford for even having us out. Just stay tuned. I'm pretty excited. I would like to do some more content with one of these in the future. I've never been excited by a dual cab like I have from this thing here. So absolutely hats off to Ford. But I tell you what guys, let us know in the comments below, would you like to see us get in one of these and get out there and do a little bit more content and show you guys probably just how far you can push these things off-road, because I'd love to see how far this thing will go factory. Anyway, that's a wrap from me guys. Till next time, get out and enjoy the Explore life.